So I now want to tell you a bit more about our SEO intelligence program because it goes pretty deep. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about the why this is necessary at a greater level. I'm going to explain our process, and that's going to talk about the discovery process, how we first learn about everything, configuring the tools, the audit and remediation process, right down to the monthly reports and how we pair this with human reviewers. And then at the end, I'm going to let you know how you can get started with the program. So why is this necessary? Well, e-commerce stores definitely have unique challenges when it comes to monitoring SEO health because of the transactional nature and all the moving parts, and they're just different than lead generation sites that it just leads to additional concerns that come into play. And I found that most SEO monitoring programs, especially the ones that are analytics based, are not really capturing the full picture. And things are happening behind the scenes that folks don't know about. Um, this approach is also data driven, which this was designed this way so that there's no emotional decisions or guessing having to go on. It's very methodical. Everything is tracked and monitored in a way where you can rule certain things out if you're trying to figure out what's going on with a certain situation. And this is also meant to be a safety net to identify problems before they become larger issues. A lot of the things that we're going to point out, if they're caught early, they're not going to go and wreak havoc on your site rankings. So after conducting 30 audits in the last 14 months, these are just some of the issues that go on that people might not be aware of when they're monitoring their SEO progress. Crawling issues with the site, indexation with Google issues with Google themselves, issues with redirects, 404 errors, broken links. Monitoring the status of the backlink profile, robots.txt and whether that's present or not. Site maps, are they working? Are they there? Canonicalization, which is ultimately going to lead to fixing issues with duplication. Where are you at with core web vitals and speed and overall site performance from that aspect? We do track keywords, even though this is meant to be a technical SEO program. Keywords do indicate things in different circumstances. And really, this is all learned by doing migrations, and upgrades. There's a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong. Human error can be part of that. Staging servers being not configured properly and subdomains. And then we got competitors that are making moves. Like all these needs to come into play. All these things come into play when determining, the status of a company and where they're ranking and served. So what is our SEO intelligence program? Well, let's start with the process. It's modeled after enterprise solutions. So what do I mean by that? So the big players, the people that have $50,000 a month or more to spend on SEO, they have solutions that are a system of crawlers, monitoring tools, analytics, and it's all intertwined with human reviewers. It's the human reviewers that really brings the magic into it, because it's one thing to have checks and balances and analytics, but if you don't see and identify the issues, it's a moot point. So our process is similar to an enterprise solution. Maybe Bright Edge comes to mind, or Conductor. These are very expensive programs that you'll see the price point that we have for our program is so far better than what they offer. So that's what it is. And the process starts by first getting to know a company and learning about their specific challenges. We conduct an audit for the first time. We make sure we identify any key issues that need to be addressed. We make sure Search Console is set up right, analytics is set up right, and then we move into a monthly cadence of reviewing reports and dashboards, metrics, all sorts of things. Let's keep moving on here. I mentioned Google Search Console. We can't move forward even from the very beginning if a site hasn't verified using the DNS method. This is so important for capturing all the data that we require this before we can even move forward. Another one is Google Analytics being completely configured so that you have revenue tracking. This is important for an e-commerce store. So now let's take a look at this process. So we start with the discovery phase. We're going to ask questions. We're going to learn about specific challenges and concerns. And we're gonna basically start the process. we're going to get access to key applications. So whatever SEO tools you have, let's get connected. We're going to need admin access to Google Search Console, your website, analytics, tag manager, host of applications we need access to, and we will start with that. For the clients that have already worked with us, this will look familiar. This is an example of our project management system called Smartsheets. This is what we use for time tracking and task approval. We also use Trello boards for managing some of the granular tasks behind what we do, as there's so many involved with this process. And then we also have our own production calendar that we have everything laid out throughout the weeks and months for the items that we need to get completed. So that's a bit about our scheduling and how we do things with the people side. Let's take a look at these tools, because this is a big part of the process. We're using the best-in-class SEO tools to make this happen. Google Analytics, GA4. If someone hasn't already migrated to GA4, we're going to make that happen. And since we're talking about e-commerce, we're also going to ensure that revenue tracking, e-commerce tracking is in place. We're going to get connected to Search Console, make sure that's verified properly, and reporting and sending messages and make sure that it's connected to the right people. Screaming Frog, industry standard for crawling websites. That's connected to a Looker Studio report to actually give our clients the power of Screaming Frog without them having to learn the program. We get connected to SEMrush. We load up our sites in SEMrush as an industry tool for reporting, other crucial site audit tools that they offer. Keyword position tracking being another. This is not meant to replace any existing SEO program, but keywords do indicate things in different circumstances, so we track them. Session recording as well. We offer the same capabilities as Hotjar, but we use Microsoft Bing Webmaster Tools to make it happen. And then GT metrics for tracking core web vitals. Let's take a look at some of these. So here's Microsoft Clarity tracking recordings of session recordings, similar to Hotjar, where you don't have to pay the $99 a month. Here's an example of Screaming Frog that gets ported into a Looker Studio report that everybody has access to. Everybody can change date ranges and look at the different reports without actually having to go through the very daunting task of learning Screaming Frog. This is so popular, we actually have this as a standalone service. Our clients like this that much. Of course, we're running things through SEMrush, which provides us with yet another dashboard into potential issues that should be addressed. We have GT metrics for specifically tracking core web vitals. All of this leads up to our first audit. So we don't want to get into a monthly cadence of tracking unless we know that things have been identified and that we have a foundation for success. So what does that look like? Well, we draw upon our 240-point checklist that we have been developing for the last 2 years at Crimson, which is e-commerce specific, and touches every single point you'd want to with your website to make sure that it's buttoned up for success in Google search. It's a methodical approach to we also, besides just doing the technical audit, we also review your competitors. So we have our own means of identifying who your top competitors are in search, and we monitor them and do a bit of reverse engineering to see where they're at. We also do a little bit of keyword research itself. I mentioned that earlier. Just making sure that we have certain things in check to make sure we're successful later. So this is an example of our audit. Not only do we tell our clients what's wrong, but we explain how to fix this. Any of the things that we identify. All of these tasks that might require help from a developer or someone outside our digital marketing team, those tasks are housed in Smartsheets and are estimated and approved in the traditional manner that our clients are used to. So once we completed the audit and we've provided our recommendations and our dev team has addressed any important concerns, we've met and explained everything to you, now we're ready to get into our monthly cadence. So once we have our audit 30 days from that point, we can now produce our first monthly report. So monthly reports is the next step. So we have developed our own reporting format that covers all the aspects, all the metrics that we want to cover to make sure that our SEO health is what it should be. Every single month, every day as we work on the program, we have a running document that it acts as a history timeline of what we found, what we discovered. We share this with our clients so that they can see this, and it's a running history of what we found. Any items that come up, we make sure we address this in our meetings, and we add them to smart sheets if need be. The key to this whole process is identifying items before they become huge concerns. And this whole system of checks and balances was meant just for that. So here's an example of a tool that we have set up. This is Google Alerts. What this does is provides us with real-time references when people are mentioning you online with link references. This is really good to know if you're doing any type of link building campaign. This is an example of our monthly report that we send in PDF format. It pulls in from GA4, Search Console, SEMrush, other data sources to produce this report that nobody in the industry has. This is 100% unique to Crimson Agility and our team, and this is something that's been over a year in the making, so very proud of this. And the real magic? The human reviewers. People like myself who are reviewing these reports every day, every month, making sure that things are in check, being the vocal person that speaks up if there's an issue that needs to be resolved and bringing it to the team's attention. We typically meet with our clients once a month to review everything, but sometimes there will be instances where we'll meet more frequently than that. But it's the human reviewers that really bring the intelligence in from the SEO intelligence program. It's a nice screenshot of a fictitious team discussing Magento SEO. So how do we get started? Crimson's made this pretty easy. If you're watching this video right now, most likely our current pricing structure is $750 a month. This is based around a 10-hour block of time, very discounted block of time, and we're making this easy for people to get started. We're making it easy for them to add this to their existing program if need be. From a technical SEO perspective, this is the best deal on the planet. You'd have to add maybe another 2 zeros to that 750 to get to the price tag of what this costs in the enterprise realm. With human reviewers and this many different tools, it's a $50,000 to $100,000 lift for what we're doing here. So extreme value. It's a month-to-month contract. This is one of your steps to industry domination. And we're accepting new clients right now, both new clients and existing Crimson clients. And if you'd like to get started, all you have to do is reach out to me, and I'd be very willing to have a discussion and let you know what it takes to move forward and join the program. So I want to thank everybody for listening. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Brian Mull, over and out.